Hey guys, Vick here, back with another review. Today we are looking at two things. We are looking at the Movkin Disguiser stick. Look at that. And we are looking at the Movkin Disguiser Nano. So what we got here then, we have two mods that come as a kit. They come with a sub-ohm clearomizer, very much in the style of the JCT JC25 RTA, but a sub-tank version of it, a sub-ohm clearomizer version of it. What we have is a mod with, it's a mechanical style mod, a mechanical style vape with an electric component. So you've got your 5 clicks on, your 5 clicks off, your safety features and such. It has a minimum resistance of 0.1 and 2500 mAh battery in the stick. The stick has USB charging there, non-removable battery, and it has this sleeve which goes over the top of the tank. And then you have your adjustable spinny drip tip affair like that. So you just put your sleeve down there, O-rings at the bottom, and away you go. So your sub tank sat on your mech, and it is 2014 all over again. Similarly with the Disguiser Nano, Movkin Disguiser Nano, again mechanical style vape with a LiPo battery. Again we have 2500 mAh, 0.1 minimum resistance, and a charge port here, and it's hidden your tank, your sub-ohm clearomizer in there, again with the telescopic drip tip, and the door goes on like this, button at the top. And this one is like this. So we'll really quickly go down low, and I'll really quickly show you these kits up close, and then we will come back up top with some pros and cons and some opinion, some straight up opinion thrown in about these two things. See you in a second. Okay guys, here we are up close with the Disguiser Nano kit and the Disguiser stick kit from Movkin. So if we'll do one at a time, we will take off the cover of the Nano kit. One thing to note here, if you want to know more about this, go to movkin.com. So opening this up, first thing you will see is your sub-ohm coil. This is the stainless steel one, 0.3. I don't know of any other coil heads that fit this exactly. So there you go. Opening it up like this, put that to one side, and you will see your mod. And if we open it up, you will see the first sort of thing that slightly upset me about this mod. It's a bit leaky. It's a bit leaky and it gets a bit juicy. But we will persevere. So here is the fire button, 5 clicks and it fires up. Blue means it's happy. It starts to go red when you need to charge it. When you want to charge it, you need to use this, the micro USB. It's a built-in LiPo battery, 2500 mAh, minimum resistance 0.1, so you need to charge it using USB. It has one of these telescopic drip tips that you can adjust like that to your preference in height. And if we open her up, we will see the tank, 22mm sub tank, and if we unscrew this, we will be able to see a bit more. So you can put your own sub-ohm clearomizer in here, or RTA, or whatever you like really. Again, a bit more leakage you can see there. So that is what it looks like without. You put that in, so you can put your own tank in if you don't like the sub-ohm clearomizer that comes with. Don't know if this will work, but if we get our voltage meter, it may or may not be happy with this because of the lack of resistance. But you can see exactly what it's doing here. 411. So it's doing exactly what a mechanical mod would do. It's pumping out as much battery as it can at any given moment, and that will go all the way down to 3.7ish, something like that, before it starts to warn you about the battery. So that is what that is doing. Looking at the sub-tank, it's got one of these it's a JC22 it's called, and it's of a similar design to the 22 RT, the JC RTA. So it has that telescopic top fill situation going on. So that is the sub-ohm tank. Airflow there, closes down, quite generous, 4 holes like that. It's a nice wide open lung hit. So we screw that in. Screw that back in. Hopefully it's firing up nicely. We'll extend our telescopic tip, screw that back in, door back on, and that is the Nano. Moving over to the stick, taking the cover off this one, opening her up, and again you will see another coil head like that, and you will see your telescopic drip tip here. Oh, that's stuck in, and you will have your stick, and you'll have your tank and cover. So putting the box to one side, let's just do the voltage trick on here as well. This one's been going a bit longer since it charged, so I expect to see a lower voltage number on here. From all intents and purposes, it does seem like they have a very similar battery in them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this one's been on longer, and that's why you're only getting 3.72 on there. So very much is putting out your straight power, despite what anyone else might tell you. There's always a lot of misinformation with these type of devices. So sub-ohm tank on. Again, exactly the same sub-ohm tank as the previous. Adjust that airflow again. You can then put your drip tip on like that, and then you can put your cover on like that. Screw that down to your personal preference, and there you go. There you go. Venting at the bottom, battery information there as well, and that's how you go. The one thing I would say is I wouldn't recommend using this without the cover, because you've got those O-rings and it steps down and it looks a bit strange without the cover on. So if you're thinking about using it without, bear that in mind. But with the cover on, it looks like that. So there we go. Again, 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off, and it'll warn you when the battery's low. So that's that. Go back up top. Okay guys, those were the 2 items up close and personal, the stick and the Nano disguiser from Movkin. Get along to the Movkin website, link in the description if you want to find out a bit more about these. One thing I haven't really gone on about up to now is the tanks. They come with a 0.3 stainless steel coil and a 0.3 Kanthal coil as well. So yeah, so that's what you get with the tank. It's roughly 4.5 mil capacity. Again, I might try and put that underneath if I can find out where it says, but I haven't found out. It seems to be about 4.5 capacity. Now, a few things here. Where should we start? Something that has been an issue with both kits, both tanks, is they've been a bit leaky. They've just been generally a bit leaky. So when I've been opening up the door, I've just been sort of finding, you know, juiciness, and more than that, you know, I have just cleaned these off, ready to go on the vid, but they tend to get quite juicy, you know, and especially when they're hidden as well. So, you can come back to a real juicy mess if you're not careful. They have just been slightly leaky, which is a big disappointment on something like this. The actual vape quality from the sub-ohm tanks, considering they're on an unregulated setup, is actually quite good. The flavour and the vapour production is actually quite good. I'm actually enjoying the vape. Obviously, you could take these devices, put your own 22mm RTA and build them lower, higher, whatever you like to suit your vaping style. But as they come, it's a 0.3 vape on a unregulated power source. So that is that. So the main drawback that I've come across is the slight leakage of the tanks, and that's both tanks. So I don't think I just got unlucky. They've both been. I've done several tanks full of juice, and they've been leaky throughout. Filling after filling, an hour later, when the tank's nearly low and the tank's at the top, just slightly oozy for whatever reason. I've got to be completely honest as well. In terms of the stick, I think that is really ugly. It's really ugly. It's so tall as well. If we compare it to a PAPS with a SAT22 on, look how tall it is as well. That is tall, isn't it? That's a really long thing. You know, I don't know what form of disguise that would be. You know, that's not so disguised at all, is it? That's a weapon. So personal preference on the stick. I think it's really ugly, really ugly, and you can't really not use the sheath because it's got these O-rings down here and stuff, and it starts to look very strange without the cover on. So that's a thing. That's the thing. Yeah, looks. Also on the stick, I don't know how well you can see this, but the drip tip doesn't sit perfectly straight. I had trouble with these drip tips on the original disguiser. I'm just not sure about these telescopic drip tips. They knew the length of the tank, they knew the length of the cover. Couldn't they have also thrown in a drip tip that just was the perfect size without any wobbliness and telescopicness and stuff? I don't know. Battery life has been excellent. It's really well made, really solid bit of kit, and like I said, and like I've said throughout, the actual vape quality is good. So that's that really. Yeah, that's that. In terms of the Nano, I actually do really like the look of the Nano. My two frustrations with the Nano, apart from the drip tip, which we've talked about already, my two frustrations are this: it's got this top firing thing again. I don't really particularly like this top firing thing. I know Movkin would go, well, the Cricket had top firing and everybody bought one of them, and I know what they're saying, I know what they mean, but just personally, for me, I prefer to fire there, not there. I end up a bit like that, and I don't like that. So that's pure personal preference on my part. My other disappointment with this, I thought it was until it arrived. It's not. I wish it was variable wattage. I wish that this was a variable wattage device. I really wanted them to do a smaller version of the Movkin, and you know, single cell and get the size right down and 22mm tanks, and they've done all that on this, and that's really pleasing. But I wish it was variable wattage. I think this would be a nicer vape, especially with a sub-ohm clearomizer, if you had the option to adjust the wattage. Personal thing again, but that's my one outstanding drawback with this. The tank's a bit leaky, but you can put a different tank in if you want. But I wish it was variable wattage, to be honest. And again, the battery life has been excellent. And the vape quality has been very good as well. So a mixed bag. It'll come down to your personal preference. Vape's very good. I really like the look of this one. Don't like the look of the stick. It's been a bit leaky, but the actual vape quality has been very good, and a few other little bits and bats of niggles may or may not be a thing for you. Totally your choice. But that's me, and that's where I'm at with these. Get along to the link in the description to find out more. Movkin Disguiser Nano. and Movkin Disguiser Stick. I've been Vick, and I'll see you again soon.